Hi, this is Diane Moore from the downtown Chattanooga Public Library, and I'm attempting to sneak up on a toomuchus bigus boxwoodis creaturus. To be very quiet here. Of course, it can't go anywhere. There are a couple of creatures here, but this one you can tell by the one antenna. Wow, that's massive. That is huge. Oh, that's interesting. Someone's left a bag of mulch as though they've just dropped it and run. Wow. Well, seems to be not moving at all. Be very cautious here as I sneak up on it. Wow, look at that. I don't know if you can tell how large that is. Huge. Wow. Look at that. Oh my. What is that? Someone camping in here? Crazy. Huh. Hat and a fairly clean sock. That's strange. It's really weird. Whoa. Someone's taking a bite out of this hat. Sneak up quietly. Oh wow. Oh my goodness. Oh. Oh. This does not look good at all. And there it is. There it is with its one antenna. I'm not sure if you can get a good view of that. It looks fairly happy. It looks like it might have fed on something. Look at, oh, there's the other sock. Gloves. Boots. Looks like someone was attempting to trim. 2 sets of gloves. Maybe 2 people. Oh my goodness. This doesn't look good. I feel prickly all over. This isn't nice at all. I think this was a scene of some carnage. I'm not sure. I'm getting out of here. I'll just, here, keep the sock. Keep the sock. Sure. Oh my goodness. Here's a smaller one right next to it. You can tell again by this single antenna. Fluorinated antenna. Oh, that one's not quite developed very well. I'm out of here, running for the safety. And I'm going to tell you what you can do to keep this from happening to you. Oh my goodness, there are some tricks. Hopefully this will never happen. Getting where I can be safe. See, oh gosh, where are the keys? You know, they can never find the keys, can they? Oh, oh, here it is. There's my guard dog. Should have brought her with me. Hey there. All right. Wow. Wow. That's really frightening. That is really frightening. Oh, looks a little bit ominous to me. All right. What you can do to keep that from happening in your very own yard. And I'm telling you now, originally that was probably a dozen, maybe or more small Hillary hollies. And when you got them, the pot, they were probably the size of a big cat, maybe a small puppy. Not vicious like that. And what happens is they grow and they grow. You can turn them into a great hedge if you want to. And that's the bad thing about them. They grow and they grow. You can turn them into a great hedge, but by the lumps and the bumps and the caterpillar and monster shape, that's not what happened. They just were not trimmed, and they just grew and grew until they turned into this scary monster. The thing that's frightening about that, for one thing, that's not really very close to the building. You really can't get around them. They make a place, if you're going to plant those in front of your own house, where it is difficult for you to find your way around them, just in case you need to trim them. I know this is a dark and scary night. This is one of the ways that you can help yourself. Catalogs, seed catalogs. There are all kinds, perennials, trees, fruit trees, shrubs, all kinds of things. And they will give you a little bit of a clue. There's my dog not working very hard to guard me at all, just selfishly thinking of grooming herself. Another thing that can help you our tags. Oh, upside down. This little deutzia bush says it will get to 2 feet. Here's an iris tag. I had to grab what I could find. You don't have to worry too much about irises taking over, although it might not tell you that some flowers or things you buy may not grow tall, but they may grow wide and take over your yard. Sometimes you can't be sure how big or how small they're going to be. A lot of times they don't look exactly like they look on the front of the catalog. Sometimes they'll say small shrub, and then they grow into a giant monster thing. In the Gilbert Smith garden, he has a beautiful variegated holly tree, probably 25 foot tall, called O Spring. And they didn't realize that it was Oliver Spring, named after a man, but it still is sold in garden shops in Georgia as a medium-sized shrub. So sometimes you get tricked and fooled. Right now I have a dwarf marigold called Bolero that's about 2 foot tall in some places and 2.5 foot tall in other places. So when you plant these things, when they say foundation planting, please take that to mean your basic plantings, your conifers, your things that you put in after your hardscaping that sort of form the backbone of your garden and not right next to your foundation. Especially trees that can grow under your house and damage your foundation in time, cause real headaches for the next person to buy your home or inherit it when you're gone in however many decades. Another reason that you really don't want to plant things too closely, oh sure, flowers aren't going to hurt anything, and we'll handle this in another video in the future, but there are actually a lot of shrubs and things. People in my family were slightly tending to be pyromaniacs, and when we moved to the south and we had fireplaces instead of a furnace, we burned all kinds of wood. And I'm telling you, little bits of conifers, little bits of holly, little bits of other green things, you'd be surprised how quickly they go up in flame. And 2 or 3 years ago, I went to an ag conference, back when we still had conferences, and there were a couple of forest rangers there. They gave me this brochure and a lot of other things that we'll talk about in the future. Brush removal guidelines, a little pamphlet. This one really, it says getting rid of the flammable brush around your home is important to keep it protected from wildfire. However, what they're talking about isn't so much, and let me give you a view of that monster. We'll just keep an eye on that to make sure it doesn't somehow Stephen King on me and head over this way. But what they're talking about isn't so much mulch too close to your house or dead wood, but the kind of plants that you plant to make sure that if there is a wildfire, it will stay away from your house and the things that you have planted won't lead it to your house. So be really careful about that. Consider water faucets when you want to walk around and you want to trim the shrub, or how many times, I know there are a lot of people who can relate to me when I've been in people's yards looking for the spigot or the hose, and you get stabbed and slashed and burned and smacked around by crazy holly bushes that are so close to the house that you can barely get between them. So we need to be careful not to let our shrubs and things turn into monsters. A good clue is look at the tag. How big is that going to get as an adult? Or when you drive around your neighborhood, do you see ones that are 40 foot tall? Probably shouldn't buy unless you're going to stick it out in the middle of your big yard or in your pasture. But just something to think about. When you buy that shrub, read the label, drive around your yard, and Google it. Just look for examples. Another great thing to do, and some of these are actually open now, go to botanical gardens and look for that exact thing. They're not usually, unless it's someplace that has crazy beautiful topiary, they're not going to trim it down. They're going to let it grow its normal shape and size, so you can really see then how big this creature is going to get. Talk to people in your nursery. Make sure you're talking to someone who has a lot of experience with these plants. And for tonight, I think that is all. It's looking a little vicious. I'm not sure if that's my camera or it's heading this way, but we are out of here tonight. Be safe, be careful, and watch out for the giant caterpillarous bushes. See you next time.